So here's our table. Again, you just kind of take the information and piece by piece fit it in where you think you can, and hopefully it kind of makes sense. Usually there's two categories you're talking about. Here it's first rectangle, second rectangle. And then there's information about those, like the length and the width and the perimeter, okay? So here we start, it looks like we start with the first rectangle's width, right? And then they tell us about the length, how the length relates to the width. So if I call this one W, I can sort of work everything else around that. So what's the length of the first one related to this W? Yeah, 15 centimeters more, so that'd be W plus 15. Okay, then we have a second rectangle. The perimeter is 72, so I'll just put that down here in the perimeter side. The second one is 5 centimeters wider than the first one. So the width plus 5. It's 5 centimeters wider. And the length is 2 centimeters shorter. So if I took 2 away from this, what would I have? 13, right? I'll just write that up top. We're doing this minus 2. All right. Now, we could write how to find the perimeter here, but I don't know if that will help us find W. Do you think it will? I mean, we could to... This is not going to help us get anywhere, but if you feel like your box needs to be complete, go for it. All right, so here we have 72 for the perimeter. Thank you. It's going to be 2 times this plus 2 times this equals this. So we're going to use all those clues to find W, and then we're going to plug all the W's back in. It's kind of the plan of attack. So 2 times W plus 13 plus 2 times W plus 5 equals 72. I am going to distribute the 2's. Combine the W's. And then solve for W. Does anyone know what W is? Yeah, I think W is going to equal 9, right? Okay. I'm getting W equals 9. Everybody still with me? Okay. Now, I am going to find the dimensions of both of the rectangles. Okay? I'm going to pause here, and then I'm going to clean some things up. Does anyone still need this column of the chart? All right, I'm going to get rid of that column because it's like not important right now. Okay, so W is 9. We have the first rectangle. We're looking for the length and the width. And we have the second rectangle, and we're looking for the length and the width. Which one is just the W? The first one's width. So right now, I already know that this is true. What's the length of the first one? Yeah, 9 plus 15. Just plug the W in. What is 9 plus 15? 24. All right. What's the width of the second one? 14. It's just 9 plus 5. And what's the length of the second one? 22. It's just 9 plus 13. All right. Lots going on. Questions? The next one says a cup of skim milk has 10 more calories than a glass of orange juice. If the total number of calories in 1 cup of each is 370, find the number of calories in each. All right. So what are the 2 items I'm talking about? Skim milk and apple juice. Now, we're going to find the calories in both. So it doesn't really matter if you want to do A and write everything in terms of A, or S and make everything in terms of S. I went ahead and did the A just because the skim milk is more. For some reason, pluses feel easier to me. So I'm going to call apple juice A, and I'm going to call skim milk A plus 10. And to find the total calories, it's going to be calories times the number of cups. That would give me the total calories. But how many cups of each do we have?
1.
Just 1. So that's going to be 1 and 1. So for total calories, it's just 1 times those quantities. Honestly, if you just wanted to write A plus 10, because A plus 10 times 1 is still A plus 10, that's fine. That just kind of shows you that we are multiplying these together. All right. And whenever I add both of the values, I should get 370. Questions on this one? All right, so here's our equation. Combine like terms. Subtract 10. And then, yes, divide by 2. All right, and then since it's a word problem, we were asked to find 2 things. So we have to put the label with the 180. We actually also have to find the other answer too. So 180 calories is the calories in apple juice. And remember from your chart, you can see that skim milk just had 10 more than that. So A plus 10 is 190. What are your questions? All right, here's number C. C is talking about like a poker game, I think, or some sort of game that involves chips. It says, in a game played with white, blue, and red chips, one player has twice as many blue chips as white chips, and 3 more red chips than blue chips. White chips are 1 point, blue chips are 2 point, red chips are 5 points. How many of each are there if the player has 165 points? All right, so which one's the smallest number of chips? The white. So I'm going to start with white. Just don't get overwhelmed. Start where you can. I know white is the smallest. I'm going to call it W. How does blue relate to white? Twice as much. Twice as much means times 2. So now we'd have 2W. Now how does the red one relate to either the white or the blue? 3 more than which one? Than blue. So start at blue and add 3. Yes.
Can we just put 5W?
No. Those aren't like terms. It's the amount of blue plus 3. It's not 5 times the amount of white. Not the same. All right. Now let's talk about the value. A white chip is worth 1. A blue chip is worth 2. And a red chip is worth 5. Now you just multiply those to find the total value. So 1 times W, 1W. 2 times 2W. And 5 times 3 plus 2W. So I just multiplied the columns together. That gives me the total value of each. This is the total value of the whites, the total value of the blues, the total value of the reds. What do they all add to? 165. So I'm going to write a big equation. Value of the whites plus value of the blues plus value of the reds equals the total. All right, so that's the equation we're going to solve. All right, so you can go ahead and multiply those out. 2 times 2W is 4W. And for the 5, you have to distribute it. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2W is 10W. And that equals 165. All right, combine like terms. How many W's do I have? 15W plus 15 equals 165. All right, from there, we have 15W equals 150. And then divide both sides by 15. And W equals 10. Yes? Sometime next week. I haven't decided exactly which day. Depends how the reviews go. Today? Yes. All right, any questions on how I got W? Okay, so that's the number of white chips. Then you have to plug it back into the box to find the rest. So remember, blue chips was 2W, and red chips was 2W plus 3. All right, we good? Okay, last one for today. We are talking about a stalk of celery. It contains 7 calories. A carrot contains 20 calories. A total of 45 carrots and celery stalks contains 575 calories. How many carrots are there?
45.
Hold on, what?
Well, this about calories, is that like true?
I don't know. Maybe. We can look it up. It's been in a few problems, which makes me think it might be true, but I'm not really sure. So what are the two things we're talking about? Celery and carrots. Good old celery and carrots. They ask us about carrots at the end, so I'm going to make that C. It's going to save me a step later. So C is going to be the number of carrots. Sorry, I was pointing to the wrong one. This is number of calories, so 7 calories, 20 calories. Number of carrots, really, if you flip-flopped these, you'd still be fine. Now, total, I have 45 of these two put together. So if I know the number of carrots, what can I do to 45 to get the number of celery? Yeah, subtract C from 45. That'll give you the number of celeries that you have. All right, and then this is one where we just multiply the two together. Don't forget you'll have to distribute on that one where it's 45 minus C. And then we're going to add the two boxes over here together to get the 575. So this is the equation that I am going to need to solve. All right, so let's tackle this equation. The first thing you need to do is distribute. This is when a calculator would be real handy. 7 times 45 is 315. We have some like terms on the left side. Do not make that minus 27C. Okay, the 7 is negative. Keep it negative when you combine it with the 20. It's actually going to give us 13C. Then I'll subtract the 315. What is 575 minus 315? What? Yeah, 260. And then you divide by 13, and you get how many carrots? A lot of carrots. Very good. 20 of them. All right, I am not going to make you summarize this. 1, because I think you're out of room. And 2, because writing a sample question would just take a ridiculous amount of time. So you guys know what we did, right? Obviously, word problems. I'm going to go ahead and give you your homework. We are going to review this stuff tomorrow. I'm still unsure of when exactly the test will be. The absolute soonest it would be next Wednesday. But I think that's going to be pushing it, all right? I'll let you know, though.